Hey kids, it's Uncle Michael here. See, the fishing shop is finished. Would you like to have a look at it? Come, let me show you. Doesn't it look wonderful? Beautiful? It took me quite a while to get it done, but it was great fun and I enjoyed it very much. Look at the fish in the crate. Aren't they cute? Well, I'm reminded of a story in the Bible that talks about a boy having 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish that he offered to Jesus. Let me set this aside. Do you remember where it's found? Let's get out our Bibles, alright? Do you have your Bibles? If you have it, good. If you haven't got it, go and get yours. Let's sit down and read from it. So the story is taken from Matthew chapter 14, verses 13 to 21. Matthew chapter 14, verses 13 to 21. And it says here in my Bible, Jesus feeds the 5,000. As soon as Jesus heard the news, he left in a boat to a remote area to be alone. But the crowds heard where he was headed and followed on foot from many towns. Jesus saw the huge crowd as he stepped from the boat, and he had compassion on them and healed their sick. That evening, the disciples came to him and said, "This is a remote place, and it's already getting late. Send the crowds away so they can go to the villages and buy food for themselves." But Jesus said, "That isn't necessary. You feed them." "But we only have 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, they answered. "Bring them here," Jesus said. Then he told the people to sit down on the grass. Jesus took the 5 loaves and 2 fish, looked up toward heaven, and blessed them. Then, breaking the loaves into pieces, he gave the bread to the disciples, who distributed it to the people. They all ate as much as they wanted, and afterward, the disciples picked up 12 baskets of leftovers. About 5,000 men were fed that day, in addition to all the women and children. Isn't this story awesome? In the same story mentioned in the book of John, those 5 loaves and 2 fish came from a young boy. When these 5 loaves and 2 fish were placed in Jesus' hands, he was able to feed 5,000 men and all the women and children on top of that. Wow! Jesus turned what was supposed to be a young boy's lunch and made it a big feast for all the people gathered there. Jesus can do the same today. All we have to do is give to Jesus what we have, and he can bless it and use it to help many, many, many people. You may think that you have very little or nothing to give at all, but you do have something that you can give to Jesus. You can give of your time to pray for those who are in need. You can even help people. For example, helping an elderly person to sit down in a chair or to help them to get up. You can even sing a song to cheer your friend when he or she is sad. Some more, if you are getting an allowance from your daddy or mommy, you can even set it aside to help people in need. Maybe, let's say you put aside 10 cents. That doesn't sound like much, right? But when you add it all together from all the children who would participate, you can get a lot of money. For example, let's say 100 children give 10 cents each. How much will it come to? $10, right? The $10 can buy quite a bit of food for those who are in need in a poorer country? What if you think that you have nothing to give? Then what happens? If everybody thinks like that and nobody gives, those people who are in need will get nothing, right? So kids, let's just show some compassion as Jesus did that day to feed the 5,000. Our Bible verse for this session is taken from Matthew chapter 14, verse 14. All right? So here it is. Jesus saw the huge crowd and he had compassion on them. So kids, don't forget, you can give something to Jesus. You can pray and you can help. Even though you are young at this time, you may not be working, but you can give all that you have to Jesus. No matter how small, Jesus will use it to bless other people. So to end the session, here is a song called 5 Loaves and 2 Fishes, sung by Corinne May. This will help us to remember this story, to ask us to give to Jesus everything that we have and trust Jesus to use it to help others as he has helped us. So take care, everyone, and see you next time.
A little boy of 13 was on his way to school. He heard a crowd of people laughing and he went to take a look. Thousands were listening to the stories of one man. He spoke with such wisdom, even the kids could understand. The hours passed so quickly, the day turned into night. Everyone was hungry, but there was no food in sight. The boy looked in his lunchbox at the little that he had. He wasn't sure what good it'd do. There were thousands to be fed, but he saw the twinkling eyes of Jesus, the kindness in his smile, and the boy cried out with the trust of a child. He said, "Take my 5 loaves and 2 fishes, do with it as you will. I surrender. Take my fears and my inhibitions, all my burdens, my ambitions. You can use it all to feed them all." 2 fishes,